Welcome to our post-race show from what was an epic edition of Strade Bianche. We were left guessing right till the last minute what was going to happen in that race. It looked like it was all sewn up, and then it all changed. Hannah, what on earth have we just witnessed?
I mean, we wanted an exciting opener, didn't we, to 2020 2.0 season? And I mean, we really did get what we wished for and what we asked for the opener of the Women's World Tour. I mean, yeah, I thought that's it. Mavi Garcia of Ali Cipollini has got this sewn up. She's had an incredible ride, and there was no chase really, organised chase, let's say, from the 10 riders behind. And out of nowhere, with around 14 kilometres to go, was it? Annemiek van Vleuten appears at the head of the chase, and managed to make it across to Mavi Garcia with only a couple of kilometres to go. I mean, truly a tremendous ride from both riders to be away for so long. I mean, I think I had it at around 5 minutes, the gap that Van Vleuten had to close to Garcia. Tremendous. I'm speechless, and what an opener. It's epic, absolutely fantastic.
That's the thing, because Mavi Garcia had 3.5 to 4 minutes at one point with the peloton to the chasing group of 10, some big names in there as well, the likes of Van Dijk, Lisa Brennauer, Leah Thomas, Amanda Spratt, of course, Van Vleuten's teammate, and the peloton was 1 minute back from that, so we're looking at 4.5, 5 minutes, and we didn't see it. We didn't see that chase. We didn't know whether Van Vleuten was actually hiding in the gaps between riders. But to all intents and purposes, she closed a gap of 4 to 5 minutes on her own, bridged across. Whether she brought the likes of Anna van der Breggen and Elisa Longo Borghini with her, because they were well up there at the finish, we don't know. But Annemiek van Vleuten came from nowhere. And then you're sitting there thinking, Mavi Garcia has been solo for 45k, something ridiculous. And she built up such a brilliant lead. And she was looking so strong as well. And Van Vleuten just came straight on her wheel. But hats off to Mavi Garcia for not sitting back and going, oh, it's gone. She fought tooth and nail right to that final climb, didn't she?
Yeah, she certainly did. At one point, when Van Vleuten sort of finally made the catch, I was thinking, oh, come on, Mavi Garcia, like, get onto the back wheel of Van Vleuten. And you could see, the pain and the lactate on Mavi's face. But she just managed to get onto the back of the wheel. And actually, she was able to recover for a few kilometres because it was Van Vleuten who was pushing the pace of that duo. And yeah, just in that the final 800 metres after they went under the Flamme Rouge and they get into the real steep section, around 16% is the gradient as you climb towards Piazza del Campo. I mean, I can only imagine what Mavi's legs were feeling like. That injection of pace from Annemiek van Vleuten just was the last straw, really, wasn't it? And there was just no response. Fantastic ride from Mavi Garcia. I mean, ride of the day for me. I don't know about you, but I think we've seen her knocking on the door for a while now. Second last year at Le Tour de Yorkshire. She's a phenomenal athlete. Was with Movie Star last year. She's joined Ali Cipollini this year, and really seeing her coming through the ranks, and tremendous ride.
22 seconds was the official margin, so that is the distance that Van Vleuten put in over that final steep climb, the last 600, 800 metres or so. Leah Thomas came third. She was 1 minute 53 back from our winner, but she was looking over her shoulder, wasn't she? And at one point rode into the barriers on that final steep ascent, and we were thinking, what on earth is she looking at? What's she doing? Concentrate. And it's because Anna van der Breggen was 12 seconds behind her. So she had to keep that place on the podium. She, of course, won the Women's Tour of Scotland last year. So this is a huge result for her in a World Tour stage.
Yeah, absolutely massive for Leah Thomas. And I was screaming at the TV thinking, oh, you've already had one mishap in one of the last sectors. She actually dropped her chain, got her chain back on. She had someone to help her. Got back on, and then just from within the gravel, she put so much power down into the pedal, lost the front wheel. She went flying over, landed on her elbow. She's got all cut on her elbow and fell to the ground. And I mean, she was able to fight back and to get into third place. But I'm sure she was running on a little bit of adrenaline. But
big time.
Sort of misfortune of the day, but was able to save that and salvage it to get third place. So that's huge for the Equipe Paul Ricard team. They were facing losing all sponsorship and not making it out of this pandemic as a team. And I'm sure that will bring huge motivation, especially as they lost Clara Koppenberg yesterday in a pre-race crash. So great to see them getting onto the podium.
Yeah, worth pointing out that before the race, we said that Ashley Moolman-Pasio had crashed in training yesterday, wasn't racing. Ella Harris of Canyon SRAM has also crashed in training yesterday and has broken her femur and needs surgery. So sending lots of healing vibes to her, to Clara Koppenberg and to Ashley as well, all of who, unfortunately, have missed this incredible 22 2.0 opener of the UCI Women's World Tour. It's back, and it is back with a bang. We had an incredible photographer from Peloton magazine, Twiller, out on the roads, the white gravel roads of Tuscany. Let's take a look now at some of the best of the photos she was sending across.
Yeah, well, in the first photo, you see Ellen van Dijk. She's actually racing on Koen de Koort's bike for today after Trek had their bike stolen overnight, and Van der Breggen looking very comfortable indeed. And on sector 5, it was 2 former world champions leading the peloton. Lizzie Deignan in the wheel and Marianne Vos not too far behind. And you can just see that the riders, struggling to stay on the back of the peloton. Sarah Rikers of Sarah Tizit WNT just in the convoy there. But some wonderful photos from Twiller. I mean, it's, not being there, in person, it gives you a real sense of what's happening and the dust in the riders' faces and just the utter carnage going on, isn't it?
The dust was flying up. You could barely see numbers. You could barely see who the riders were. And if you remember the 2018 race, that was mud, sleet, ice and snow. And now it is dry, arid, hot dust. It's incredible, the 2 different versions of a race that we can actually have, and how that perhaps changes the nature of the race. And were the peloton a bit more conservative because of the heat? We don't know. Annemiek van Vleuten said at the finish line, in her finish line interview, that actually she thought the race was done. She thought it was over. She saw the gap that had gone up the road and saw that Mavi Garcia was solo by some 3.5, 4 minutes. And she said she was heartbroken because she thought that her chance had gone. But Amanda Spratt was up there, managed to ride that very well. And obviously she could then claw back the minutes she needed to bridge that gap, drop the chasers like a stone. She had with her at that point Caroline Canuel, I think she had Ellen van Dijk, Lisa Brennauer and Leah Thomas with her as well, dropped them and went after Mavi Garcia, and ultimately came up that final steep pitch to the Piazza del Campo. She said as well that finish suits her down to a T. Our rider of the day, for me, I'm going to say Leah Thomas. She's also my misfortune of the day because of what you mentioned. She dropped the chain, she then crashed. She then almost crashed into the barriers with Anna van der Breggen chasing her. What an eventful race. She looked spent at the end. You'll see a photo of that in just a moment as well. For me, she is my rider of the day. I think that was an incredible effort. And like you said, a brilliant result as well under a new team sponsorship.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, very, very worthy rider of the day and worthy 3rd place. But for me, I think, Mavi Garcia, the ride that she did, attacked with around 47 kilometres to go from that leading group of 11. And she opened up a gap of 20 seconds immediately. And then, a couple of kilometres later, that gap was out to 2 minutes 37 with no chase, no, worry or stress from the chasing riders. They're all looking at each other. There was 11 riders from 11 different teams. And Mavi Garcia just, put her head down, I think, in my opinion, rode the race of her life. That would, standout result. And you could just see, the delight on her face as she came across the line. I mean, whether it was a grimace or a smile, I'm not quite sure. But
she put her hand in the air. She definitely put her hand in the air to say, I gave that absolutely everything, and this is my 2nd place salute. She finished 2nd, as you said, at the Tour de Yorkshire last year in very, very different conditions. It was horrifically cold and windy in Yorkshire last year in May, good old British weather. And that, for me, at that point was a real marking point for her of, right, Mavi Garcia is a rider who has grit in abundance, and she can ride with dogged determination. 2nd now in a World Tour race. A brilliant, brilliant result for her. We have photos as well from Twiller Musi of the top 3. Let's take a look. You
can just see, the the dust on the jerseys, it's almost ingrained, isn't it, on the world champs jersey, and just the pain and effort from Leah Thomas as she crossed the line, getting help immediately from the Soigneur. Mavi Garcia opts to sit down, the legs just having to recover. And it's just phenomenal photos and a great insight into what this race had to offer today.
Yeah, and obviously with the coronavirus pandemic and the restrictions placed, as we do begin to just creep back into life post COVID-19, it's great to see these photos when we can't be there ourselves. Normally we'd be in team cars out the back, finding out exactly what's going on, going past these riders in the road and experiencing these arid, horrible, hot, tiring conditions ourselves. But unfortunately, we couldn't be. But it is absolutely brilliant to have seen some of the insights from, indeed, the photographs and the interview that we saw with Annemiek van Vleuten as well. We are waiting to see if we can get an interview with the winner, Annemiek van Vleuten. It isn't happening just yet, as is ever the way. The end of bike races are complete and utter chaos, and we're often left waiting and waiting and waiting, or even missing the interview because it goes on too long. We will hopefully be able to bring you that interview. Hannah, your moment of the day, please. Your moment of the race.
Moment of the day. Wow. I think. Wow, you put me in the spot. There's quite a few. I think I've got to say that the moment that Mavi Garcia attacked, and seeing that group of riders, it didn't have the all-time favourites that we would be expecting to see in that front group, with the likes of Annemiek van Vleuten, Anna van der Breggen, Lizzie Deignan, one rider who has missed out today, Elisa Longo-Borghini. Seeing that move, and with lots of up-and-coming riders as well, having fantastic rides, Stina Borgley in that front group as well. But I think the moment when Annemiek caught Mavi Garcia, and it was that that look over from Mavi, she managed to get onto the wheel. She came alongside her after taking a little bit of a breather, and she stared her out. This stare from Mavi to Annemiek, I thought, oh, this is war, this is battle, this is, and really putting the pressure onto Annemiek. And in the end, it didn't pay off for Mavi, but I think the way that she rode today, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. The top 9 riders there, we will just go through them. Annemiek van Vleuten, obviously, our winner, making that 5 from 5 races in 2020 and 4 from 4 since lockdown was lifted. 69 wins since 2008 for Annemiek van Vleuten. Gavi Marcia, 22 seconds behind. She was second, and her biggest result so far in her career. Leah Thomas, again, an enormous result for the American. 1 minute 53 back. 4th place, just missing the podium, Anna van der Breggen, the 2018 winner. Elisa Longo-Borghini, who picked up 2 podiums in races in Spain last weekend. She finished 5th. Marianne Vos was 6th. Cecily Uptrud-Ludwig, the fans' favourite, was in 7th. Lisa Brennau, very much animating the action, was in 8th. And fellow breakaway rider Caroline Canuel came over the line in 9th. And we didn't see a 10th place as it was finishing. So I'm sure the full results will be out very soon. We do not have that interview just yet. What we are going to do, though, is when we do get it, we will make sure we put it online for you all, so you can also enjoy the thoughts of Annemiek van Vleuten after what was a sensational victory and a win that none of us predicted in the way that it was done. I think everybody came into this thinking Annemiek van Vleuten will win Strade Bianche, the first rider ever to win back-to-back races, but nobody quite predicted it would happen in the manner it did.
No, definitely not. I mean, first rider to win it back-to-back, but also the first rider to win it 2 times since its inauguration. She really is in a league of her own, and she's, the cream of the crop. And that's 5 wins of 5 starts this year in 2020 for Annemiek van Vleuten, with the World Championship bands, rainbow bands. There's no rainbow curse here for her, is she? But yeah, I mean, it's a superb race, and I think just a story of what's to come for the upcoming months. I mean, we really are in for a big treat, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's it from our post-race show. Congratulations to Annemiek van Vleuten of Mitchelton Scott. A stunning win, and one done with sheer tenacity to close the gap that she did and catch Mavi Garcia, who in her first ever Strade Bianche finished second. Leah Thomas completed the podium in third. Big thanks to Twilla, our photographer, for giving us all the action from the ground, and to all of you for following along and watching today. The UCI Women's World Tour is back with a bang. We'll see you next time for our next race. Big thanks to Peloton and indeed to their sponsors for ensuring this kind of thing can happen and we can continue to talk about the brilliant sport that is women's cycling. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining. Hope you're happy.